I seen the clip going on Twitter. I need to show it before I say my hot take.
This generation get very, very disrespectful when it comes to that era, and they always say like, "Oh well, Wilt Chamberlain, even if he did put up 100, it was against plumbers."
But
What you have to say
no,
about that?
please, the plumbers. Are you kidding me? They had so many great centers back in those. They hardly have centers. The guys that are centers now, they're not centers. I mean, they play on the wing. They're all wanting to shoot 3-point shots. I mean, they don't block shots. They don't protect the rim. It's a different game. People don't understand. I've had many people say, well, Rick, you guys wouldn't be able to play with these guys today. I said, okay, what drugs are you on? Okay, because you got a problem. Because if you really understood the game and you really knew what the difference was between when we played and the guys playing here, we had nothing to help us. I didn't have an agility coach. I didn't have a dietitian. I didn't travel on charter planes so that we could get a good night's sleep and get to the next city and have a nice day. We drove ourselves around in rental cars. I mean, we had $8 a day per diem. These guys get chartered food on their planes. We didn't have whirlpools, and we didn't have saunas, and we didn't have masseuses, and we didn't have any of that. If I played today, I would be faster. And I was pretty fast, okay, and quick. I'd be faster, stronger, quicker, more endurance, jump higher. I would be so much better a basketball player because I had none of those things available to me. It's absolutely crazy how much better the guys that I played with, the Oscar Robertsons, the Jerry West, all of us, as good as we were, would be even greater playing today.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Flawed argument, but he was kind of spitting. That's my hot take of the week, man. I feel like when we do these, how would MJ play in today's NBA? There's a lot of factors that we don't consider. And the thing I just figured out, the first thing you need to ask when someone asks you that, what do you mean? Am I just taking MJ and putting him in a time machine and just plopping him into 2023? Or is MJ going to be born in 1990 something, going to grow up in the same era that Shea did, saw all of these points of references that Shea did and, all these other players did growing up, and that'll influence his game? Because I feel like within these conversations, old players just get kind of fucked because people do the first method of just putting people in a time machine, when I feel like that's unfair to them. The only thing I don't like about this argument is that when it's in the reverse, and when old heads get asked, how would Steph Curry play in their era? Their response is, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, if Steph Curry played in my era, he wouldn't be dribbling the way that he's dribbling, because, if he was born when we was born, who, would Steph Curry play like Steph Curry? So I feel like it's just, there's a bias against new age players when it comes to using that argument, but there's some credence to what Rick Barry was saying. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
Yeah, 100% say he had some points, but as you illustrated, flawed argument to imply a guy like Giannis would get clothesline, to imply a guy like Curry wouldn't be able to dribble even for his era, or shoot for his era, to imply that LeBron James wouldn't be tough. It's several things. Again, you're acting like they cannot adapt either. So you're taking yourself, your prime self, and saying you could adapt to the luxuries of the future. That's fine, but they would also be able to adapt to even if it's the trenches of the past. And some of them wouldn't. Some of them wouldn't. Of course, some of them wouldn't. But then the same thing. Some of them guys back then, we don't talk about it enough, would not be able to adapt to the future. They can be healthier all they want. They can't score. They can't score. You'd be a net negative because you would get dropped off and flat-footed in a pick and roll. You'd get cooked. So
the last 5 MVPs wouldn't even exist. I ain't gonna lie. They just wouldn't be in the NBA. But no, this is right. I mean, Giannis would not be in. What the fuck? Jokic?
What, back then?
Yeah, he just wouldn't be in the NBA. Like, not because of skill or anything like that. Nobody's checking for Serbian basketball players in the racist 60s.
Now that's true.
A black Greek dude? What? Yeah, he's a monkey all day.
That's kind of true, unfortunately.
I ain't gonna lie.
Bonus part 2.
I ain't gonna lie. Nigga was not cooking. Not gonna hold you.
Not at all.
Rick, listen, I can give you the shoes. I can give you the charter flights. I can give you the fucking masseur. I can give you all the massages in the world, Rick. Nigga, you're not Steph. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck how great you think you would be. It's still a fucking ceiling, buddy. I don't give. Nick Tree Rollins can be born in 1997.
Yeah, he's not going to turn.
He's just going to be Ryan Hollins. He's not going to turn into Dwight Howard. He's just Ryan Hollins with an afro, buddy. I don't know what you expect. Like maybe Wilt. Hey, Wilt would do damage. I give you that. Wilt with today's technology, crazy.
Bill Russell, to say that's not what
he might. Bill Russell might turn into fucking Ben Wallace.
Why not though?
not give him Ben Wallace?
Why
Yeah,
not though? With
it
Rick Barry,
depends.
why not?
Are we gonna wait? Rick Barry?
Yeah,
I
why
don't know.
not?
I'm just hating. But if we're assuming
Okay.
like niggas like
There you
Bill,
go.
like niggas like Bill Russell would just because he's born in '97, he's not gonna have the same game. All right, cool. Now we're just playing hypothetical ball. Now we're in the land of mystery. Now niggas, Rick Barry's shot won't be the same. Now we're just we're in a fantasy world. But if I'm gonna assume these guys will have these advancements and all this technology, but they're still gonna have a similar game, yeah, buddy, you niggas you'll be good. You'll be pretty good basketball players.
I think there's clear cutoffs
Spencer,
though.
you'll be Spencer Dinwiddie, Rick. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And there's also an argument, and me and Souls talked about it, that this is a more mature argument, actually. Wow. Some players would go wrong trying to adapt or acquire skills they are never destined to do. So, like, we've talked about, like, for example, how would you develop a guy like a Ja Morant? Would you just let him be uber athletic till he weren't athletic no more and then try to fix it? Or are year one, hey, Ja, we working on that shot because we know you can jump. So there's going to be some players that's going to try to get the cross, and you're never going to quite be able to get the cross. As a result, you held yourself back for 10 years. Now you're too old type shit. So there's a lot of things that go into the NBA Xenoverse debates. And yeah, it's always cringe when the old people do it just because, one, I'm a young nigga, so maybe. But two, and more importantly, it's because they just act like nobody can reverse adapt. That's where I think it's more.
Yeah, it's never been. Oh, this new age player can go back in our time and really dominate.
play in any
It's
era. I've
never
never
been
heard
that. It's never been that. It's always they'd play worse with us, but if we play with them, we'd bust their ass though.
You give me a charter flight, I'll be an MVP.
Okay.
That nigga Giannis, man, he's not surviving in my day. Like, all right, buddy. Like, all he does is run.
He got 4 more happy endings than me. He's just that much. Like, all right, bro.